I want to introduce to you your NIADA and the programs that we're very excited about launching. I'm just tickled to death about being the Director of Dealer Development for NIADA, and I've got all these things in my head about the types of programs that I see for the future to help dealers grow more and more profitable over the years. I'm extremely excited about what you have asked for the last few years that I've been attending the convention, and NIADA has listened to you. We're going to be launching very shortly the NIADA 20 group, and that's something that many dealers have approached Mike about over the last few years. And I'd like to give you just a very brief overview of what that 20 group as we see it kind of looks like. We want to kind of keep it very simple, and in order to even get things started, we're going to need your help this morning, letting us know who you are and a little bit of information about your dealership so we can begin kind of grouping things. We really would like to launch our first 20 group session sometime in very early fall. How fast we do it will be up to you and the interest level that we have. We're not looking at, as I see it, again, the dealers will control most of this, of course, but as I see the NIADA 20 groups, these are very serious educational sessions. I don't have a lot of interest in meeting at some very fancy resort somewhere and turning into a vacation. I'm looking to encourage dealers to attend at a very low-cost methodology. In other words, just at the lowest cost possible, where can you go for a couple of days, fly into a major airport, and then fly out? And certainly at somewhere point in the time, if you'd like to bring family along and have vacation, that certainly can be in the woodwork, but that's not really our intent. Is to turn this into a recreational type of deal. It's an educational deal. And it doesn't matter the size of dealership. It's one of the things I've heard for years. It's just me and my brother, me and my wife. We're just kind of a small group. We can't afford to do those sorts of things. And I agree. There are many instances where it becomes cost prohibitive when you're looking at getting education. Education should not be cost prohibitive, but certainly you should have an investment in it. That's what makes it worthwhile, is when you invest personally. As we all should invest in ourselves. Otherwise it becomes socialism. It doesn't work very well. So at any rate, what I'd like to do is have dealers agree on a centralized location where you are. We fly in, I fly to you, and as a group facilitator, look at your composites and we discuss basically how to improve our businesses. Some dealers I found are not familiar with 20 groups at all. So I'd like to give you just a very brief overview of what a 20 group is. It's 20 dealers. Where 20 dealers get together of like size and traditionally from various markets. You're not from the same market necessarily. You're going to be from all over the U.S., but you're matched with a dealership of like size in terms of volume and sales dollars. What happens then is you, prior to your meeting, you submit your data to NIADA. You submit that data electronically to us, and we tell you exactly what we need in terms of the dollars, sales, and expenses, and things of that nature. And then a composite is created of your dealership's numbers, where you stand in terms of your expenses, your gross, and ultimately your net profit. And we rip it down pretty much in a bit of detail that probably many of you are not familiar with or have not seen in quite some time. And then your composite is broken out by side with the other dealers in this 20 group. There's no name at the top. Traditionally, we just use numbers, so if you've ever lost your composite, no one knows who you are. They'd have to know what your number is. So it's all done very confidentially. And basically what happens in 20 group is the facilitator, in this case it would be myself, I would have reviewed those numbers prior to the meeting, trying to find some highlights of areas of immediacy or concern that we can probably improve upon or work to improve upon in the shortest period of time. So you come to this meeting, and then your colleagues, your fellow dealers, basically try to share best practices with each other and sort of mentor each other to make improvements. You know, the convention is just a wonderful place to gather information, but oftentimes you need more of a one-on-one scenario with someone who's doing a very good job or a better job than you are in a particular area. And it's a give and take session. I'm seeing right now in my head flying in to some airport hotel on a Friday, working all day Saturday, working most of Sunday afternoon, and then flying back out on Sunday. So you're not giving up a great deal of time, but you gathered a great deal of information. And then you have these fellow dealers that you can call upon when you develop this relationship to say, hey, what am I doing, what are you doing, and how can we make these improvements? And it's a very low-cost, effective way of helping each other out without feeling like you're competing against each other. And that's how we visualize this thing. There is a small monthly fee. We haven't established that just yet. The monthly fee that's, for those, what does this all cost? There's a small monthly fee, and that's for the composite. We actually pay a third party to take all the information, compile it in that composite form, which is very, very detailed and very rigorous. And there is some cost to that. And that really is your cost. And your other cost is flying somewhere and then the hotel and food cost. But again, if we do it conservatively and do it with the intent of education in mind, as opposed to a resort or vacation type of mentality, it's very much well worth it. Georgia has forms. My business partner and a very dear friend, Georgia Brown, has some forms if you're interested to fill out. Those are interest forms. Those are not obligation forms. Those forms are asking you while you're here, while it's fresh, while you're interested, they give us some information about you and your dealership. Because the hardest part about putting a 20 group together is finding dealers of like size, same volume. We're not going to put a dealer who sells 100 cars a year with a dealer who sells 1,500 cars a year. That doesn't make sense. So we try to match dealers of like size. So with that information form, we take that, we'll go back to the office and take a look at it and say, you know what, we probably can launch this size 20 group pretty quickly if these dealers are truly interested. The 20 group meets once a quarter. And that's how it would work, so that we can kind of measure how you're doing. Overall, you want to think of this in the most simplistic terms. You think about going to a gymnasium and hiring a mentor to keep you on your diet and to keep you on your regimen. We all make these January 1st promises to ourselves of what we're going to do, and then by April, we're back to our extra large pants that we wore just before the holidays. So this is a way of keeping up with each other and prodding each other towards a better role. All of us have had a mentor some point in time in our life. I've had several mentors that helped me in my automotive career, and I've had mentors in my educational career at Northwood. I would not be nearly as successful in business and personally if I didn't have these mentors, and certainly in marriage, my wife has been just a tremendous mentor to me as well. Well, in business, we need that same type of mentorship, and that's the advantage of a 20 group. We've had dealers who have experienced 20 groups before, some positive experiences, some less than positive experiences. I always ask dealers, what was your less than positive experience? Why did you drop out? And the two most common things I hear was, I just didn't have time for it, which I thought was rather silly, that you would not make time to do better. And then the other was, it got too expensive because dealers were meeting at some very exotic resort somewhere. If you want to do that once a year, fine, or once every year, I think it's fine too, but I'm all about education, and that's what this is all about. So hopefully you'll take an interest in it. You did ask for it. It's not something we invented or created ourselves. There are other 20 groups out there, but this was designed just for you. It was designed for the independent dealer, and our job is to eat, drink, and sleep and help each other out. And because it's an NIADA, there's no self-interest here. It's all about you and your NIADA working for you. There's no other agenda, so we want you comfortable with that as well. And the last thing I want to remind you of, you've met, for those of you who are not a CMD, a certified master dealer. There's still that certified master dealer program, and I'm extremely proud of that program and the transitions it's made in changing the curriculum. Georgia doesn't know yet, but I'm going to add one more change, or we're going to discuss one more change in the course material as I try to match, and that's my job, try to match the material to what's happening out there in the marketplace. So the CMDs who've gone through in the past, the class will be different today, and you may want to go back through again as you re-up your certification. But we're looking at adding a few more pieces to match what's happening out there in the real world scenario. The CMD course, we've shortened that down to 3 days. Again, we're trying to minimize any excuse of I'm so small, I can't leave the dealership. It is just not cost effective. We made it a little bit difficult for some of you to become a CMD because we were only able to offer it a couple of times a year, and those times had to coincide with the Northwood University either fall break or spring break, and that was my schedule. Well, now I'm an NIADA, so what we'd like to do, and George and I will discuss this and present to you at some point in time throughout the year, is be able to be a little more flexible and actually have CMD courses offered in different parts of the country closer to you. So not try to minimize that need to fly to Texas, which may take some of you longer to get to and then get back out again. But based upon the number of attendees, if we can hold one somewhere closer to the East Coast, West Coast, and then Central, we're willing to do that as well, as now my schedule certainly will permit that. What I'm trying to let you know is that NIADA's educational division is working towards being flexible and managing its schedules to match your lifestyle. But ladies and gentlemen, you must understand, you have to make the investment of time. And I think about General Custer and when he missed that session on Indian relations because he was too busy. It just wasn't his time schedule, and he thought it was too expensive. Ergo, the results of him missing that meeting. I got to tell you, you have to invest in education. And you think about all the other things that we invest in, you need to invest in yourself. I was raised as a kid in the projects in Newark, New Jersey. I was there when it was under martial law, when the city burned down during the riots. I was a ghetto kid. I was born and raised in the projects in Newark, New Jersey. And one of the things I learned to help my career and help myself was I needed to invest in myself. And the way I survived those tough times and turmoils of what was happening in the country was through education. It's what kept me alive. It's what helped me to succeed in business. My daughter called me last night and said, "Dad, I need to make some more money. I don't know what and where I should go." And we talked about eventually the stock market, and I said, "Don't you dare get into the stock market until you first take some courses on understanding the economy and the stock market." And we spent an hour on the phone last night just talking about the need for education. And ladies and gentlemen, you need to invest in yourself in education. And the excuse of it's just too expensive, are there any CMDs in here who have taken the course? And would anyone here disagree that what you paid for the course was not matched, either trifold in profits? Anyone here? You know, talk to a CMD. They'll tell you with what they paid for the course, they got back trifold over and over again in additional profits and success. It's not an expense. It's an investment. It's ROI, return on investment. So George has got the information for you. Look for some various schedules online and let us know what you need in terms of education as well. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear more on. This year, some of you must have been scared to death. I got to be honest with you. I'm not sitting in your shoes, but after sitting and listening to all these lawyers this year, I'm afraid to walk the streets. I'm afraid of getting sued. I'm afraid there's a government agent ready to find me. You know, and those are the types of things that's going on out there in that big bad boogeyman. But education, when you have education, it helps you get past those fears. When you think about the economy, what's going to happen to us in the next couple of years, you can control a lot of that through education. So with George and I working side by side and others that we'll bring on board, we want to let you know that your NIADA Educational Division is fully charged, ramped up, and ready to go. But it won't happen by itself. We need your participation. So our next speaker this morning to introduce another segment of education which is new to us, besides your new NIADA 20 group, your new revised CMD course, we have Mr. Ken Shilson. Ken?
Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you very much, Joe, and thank all of you for giving me a few minutes this morning to talk about something that I'm very excited about, and that is the alliance between the National Alliance of Buy Here, Pay Here dealers and NIADA in putting together a Buy Here, Pay Here Master Dealer Certification Program. First, why did NABD seek to do this with NIADA? First, because we recognize it's the association that represents the used car industry, and NABD is a special interest group to look after the interests of the buy here, pay here industry. But we recognize what an outstanding job Mike and Joe Lescota and Northwoods have done in putting together the Master Dealer Retail Certification Program, and we wanted to draw on that experience. We wanted to draw on that expertise to put together a program of specialized training for outstanding operators in the buy here, pay here industry. Too much time is being devoted to press on people that aren't doing it the right way. It's time for people to realize that we have terrific operators in this business and we want to put the focus on them. And we think that the certification program will allow us to do that. So how do you qualify? Well, first of all, you have to be a successful operator that's been in business for 5 years or more. You have to be a member in good standing in NIADA and NABD. And we've talked at length about the need to be compliant today. You have to have a chief compliance officer, and you have to be able to show that your documents have been reviewed by a qualified counsel, and that you're legally and regulatorily in compliance. We want to select people that have put a real emphasis on being compliant today. I think that's the message that you should leave here at this conference with, that compliance is extremely important. We are going to have some benchmarks to compare your application data with the way better operators are performing in the business. The benchmarks are in the used car market report that was given out at this show. Make sure you take a copy with them. And also we want to make sure that you have good financial records. So really the emphasis in qualifying is successful operations, being compliant, and showing that you've had good financial management. Well, that all translates to success in the business. What are our goals? Our goals is to provide a training program for outstanding operators, and as a result of the training and their commitment to good ethical business practices and standards, graduates should become even more successful. They should be more successful because they'll have better access to the capital markets, and they'll be viewed as outstanding operators by their peers. So there's an opportunity here to benefit substantially by being in the program. Our graduates can expect to learn better management skills, better advertising strategies, better financial management, building more positive consumer relationships, and how to stay compliant with the laws and regulations. We also want in the certification program to distinguish these successful operators to the capital markets to make capital more available to them. And we see the certification certificate as recognition of the dealer's dedication to the industry, a record of proven stability, reliability, and ethical business practices. It's anticipated the program will span 2.5 days. It will cover all of the operating and financial practices of the successful buy here, pay here operation. And also, the curriculum will be comprised of excellent instructors, experts from the industry, and will include people like Joe Lescota, who will bring his training and expertise and experience to the program. We'll place an emphasis on best practices, good financial management, and compliance. We encourage good systems and processes. So our goal, very simply, is your success. And we hope that all of you who will qualify would submit an application, either come to my booth 507 or NIADA's registration area, pick up an application, send it in to us, and we'll be happy to consider you for inclusion in the inaugural program, which is planned for September in Dallas at a site to be announced. We're putting it all together right now, so we look forward to your participation. If at this time you don't qualify, we encourage you to proceed and get the relevant experience and other criteria to qualify in the future. So thank you all very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the NIADA NABD Buy Here, Pay Here Master Certification Program. Thank you.
And I'll tell you what I'm really excited about. Mike and I were just talking backstage. Our next speaker is Mike Burgholzer with Warrantech, and I'm really excited about what he's got to share with you in terms of our CPO program. Mike?
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. So I want to take a couple seconds to kind of explain to you how we got here and then give you a little bit more information on our certified program for you guys. First off, I want to let you know one important factor. Myself and my team are just like you guys. I am an independent dealer. I have owned an independent dealership since 2001, and actually I've owned several of them throughout the years. So I'm in there in the trenches with you, and many of my team members fall into that exact same category. And I think that's one of the key factors with our team, is that we understand what it takes to get out there every day, to sell vehicles, to differentiate yourself, and to compete with the factories out there. So we really took some time and we worked one-on-one, not only with the NIADA, but also with you guys, with the dealers, with the association, to build this program for you. It's not our program, it's NIADA's program. And I think that's an important thing to understand when we take a look at this. Mike Lynn told a great story when we started this conversation 5-6 months ago, and he talked about meeting with one of the major manufacturers. And one of those manufacturers said to him, Mike, you know, if you guys ever get a CPO, if you guys ever put this program together properly, the game's over, Mike. The game's over. It changes the game for the manufacturers because he realized the strength that you guys have in the market and the amount of business that you control, right? So again, we hope that we'll be able to bring that product to you and bring that system to you and bring that ability to help you differentiate your dealership and get on that even playing ground, or for that matter, stronger playing ground than the manufacturers out there. So why should your dealership consider becoming an NIADA CPO dealer? Well, first off is your market demand. Let's face it, every single manufacturer out there is spending tens of millions of dollars building this market. They're not just building it for themselves, they're building it for you. It's creating the consumer awareness. How many customers have you had walk onto your lot and ask you if your vehicles are certified? Statistically, over 65% of consumers are looking at certified vehicles. Well, if we take a look at the opportunities, we know that there were over 35 million used cars sold in 2011, and less than 2 million of those were certified by the OEM. Heck, guys, that leaves 33 million cars, and you guys sell 22 million of those vehicles. Looks like that slides off on the date, but in 2011, not 2012, there were 11 million used cars sold via the internet, and over 7.5 million sold in 2009. The reason I tell you that is because the majority of CPO sales start on the internet. Customers search that ability. So again, over 65% of consumers originate their search searching for a CPO vehicle. Unfortunately, today, you don't have the opportunity to get that vehicle. Or I should say, yesterday, you didn't have the opportunity to get that customer. But today, you do. Right? Some of the big items on a certified vehicle is that it increases the profit and it decreases the turn. As a matter of fact, it's been shown that it decreases your lot time, your turn time, by over 20 days. How much does that increase the value to you? If you can turn your inventory 20 days quicker, what does that do to your bottom line? How much do you save on floor planning expense? How much do you save on additional repair expense? How much do you save simply on lot expense? It's a great cost-saving tool. It also increases profit. Again, nationally, it's between 12 and 17% in additional gross profit on CPO vehicles. Well, let's face it, guys, that translates from $700, $800 to as high as $2,200 per unit in additional profit for certified units. Why do you think manufacturers are spending all this time, money, and energy to promote this brand? It makes their dealers more profitable. Today, it makes you more profitable. So Money Magazine says that sales of certified pre-owned vehicles have increased 35% since 2002, while used car sales have decreased by 10%. So we have the CPO market going up, standard sales going down. Again, guys, this gives you the opportunity to take advantage of these sales. Well, what are the benefits? The benefits is NIADA. The benefits is you. The benefits is the association. The benefit is the national branding. NIADA is the recognized leader with independent dealers. That's why you guys are sitting in this room. That's why you've taken the time, energy, and money to come to this convention. And consumers know and understand that too. By educating our consumers, you can become part of this larger group to provide this service to your customers, as well as obviously the strength and the backing that we bring to the market. We'll be able to get these units certified and registered through Auto Trader, eBay, national and local advertising sources, again, levels the playing field and increases your opportunities for income and additional profit. One of the big differentiating factors is our level of support. NIADA had this program for several years, and unfortunately it failed. It failed for a lot of different reasons. Probably the program necessarily wasn't designed properly and wasn't built around your needs, but it also failed because of the lack of support. Again, one of the big benefits that Warrantech brings to the table is our level of involvement with not only the association, but also with your dealers. We have over 400 local representatives that will be working in your dealerships on a day-to-day basis to help you increase your sales and increase your profitability. Not only on certified sales, but your general dealership sales. Every single one of our representatives is just like you guys in the room. They're ex-dealer principals, they're ex-senior managers, they're ex-F&I professionals. We don't hire accountants or lawyers or insurance people to get out there in the field. We hire real-world experts to work with you to help promote your program and to help better your business. So we'll tell you a little bit about the program, and later on today at 2 o'clock we have a breakout session where we can go into complete details on the program and really explain the selling system behind it, because a CPO is so much more than a service contract or a warranty. It's a true selling system, and that's what needs to be embraced in order to get these benefits. But at a real high level, that breakout session is at 2 o'clock. Will also be available at the booth during the break, which I believe is between 12 and 2. But at a high level, we've designed 3 different levels of this program. Again, designed to meet your vehicle-specific needs as well as give you an opportunity to not only provide a CPO, but an additional profit opportunity with an upsell wrap. This shows you an example of one of those programs. This program is a 36-month, 36,000-mile engine and air conditioning program with a 3-month, 3,000-mile total care coverage. So much like when a franchise provides a 36-month, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty on their vehicle and a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, this is the same concept. You have a 3-year, 36,000-mile engine and air conditioning warranty with a 3-month, 3,000-mile comprehensive warranty. There's 2 benefits to this. It's a high perceived value by having that 3-year component and the total coverage for 3 months, but more importantly, it allows for a wrap upsell. Oh, Mr. Customer, by the way, we can take that 3 months and extend it out to the entire term of 36 months for only an additional charge of $795. Now you've taken a cost and you've turned it into a profit, not only on the front end of the vehicle, but some back end income opportunities. So again, this program we believe will be very successful with your dealers, and the initial dealers that have signed up, most of them have taken advantage of the 3 or the 6-month program. 6-month program is designed the exact same way. A 6-month total care coverage and then a 3-year, 36,000-mile engine and air conditioning warranty. And then per the request of some dealers, we did leave in a 12-12 comprehensive program. That's the program basically that you had before. It's a 12-month, 12,000-mile total care coverage program with no tail, no additional coverage beyond that. It does have upsell opportunities. You can extend that coverage to 2 or 3 years. And again, my team will give you complete details on these coverage. We will go through it in detail during the breakout sessions. We just wanted to give you a real high-level item here. But more importantly, the key is the marketing material and the support. Because as we said, a CPO program should not be considered a VSC program. It should truly be part of your sales system. And we've designed this program to provide you the support. When you take a look at our marketing material, you'll see that it has very little to do with the service contract. It truly has to do with differentiating your dealership from the guy down the street. Why they should buy from you, why you're a better dealer than the non-certified dealer, because you adhere to the code of ethics that NIADA has set out, because you have adhered to ethics and rigorous compliance standards on the vehicle and reconditioning standards on the vehicle. All the vehicles must have a title history report, they must go through a checklist, and then ultimately they receive this coverage, this warranty on top of that. But again, we've designed a complete marketing system for you guys, from brochures, program sales sheets. Oh, excuse me, can you go back one, please? Window clings, not only for the dealership, for the cars, but also for your dealership. Hang tags, car insert brackets for your plate frames, posters for your dealership, etc. So we want to make you proud to be a member of the NIADA and a proud supporter of this certified program, and allow you to get your consumers to know that. Show it off to them, show them why your store is different. We provide complete training on that program, as well as ongoing support. Nicest thing about our program is it's simple, guys. There's no pre-registration process. You don't have to pay up front. You do everything at the time of sale. And it takes about 2 minutes to register a vehicle. It's an online system. Everything prints out, you hand it to the customer, and it's live the minute that they leave your dealership. You don't have to wait for us to do a back-end fulfillment, ship out a contract, worry about getting anything stored or warehoused in your facility or in ours. It's all online and it's all digital. So we make it very simple for your usage. And it's all day one coverage. So your customer is covered from the minute they drive off of that lot. A little bit about us. Warrantech is one of the nation's largest insurance and VSC providers. In fact, we do over 2.5 million service contracts a year, guys. We do more in 1 month than most of our competitors do in a year. We're part of the AmTrust family. AmTrust is a $5.5 billion insurance company, and all they do is specialty risk. All they do is this. We insure not only cars, but in consumer appliance, to just about anything you can think of. We work with major manufacturers. We facilitate the Volvo's program. I know one of the board members is also a Volvo dealership, and he uses our program for that. We facilitate Mazda's program. We insure General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford in 18 to 42 states throughout the country. We insure Microsoft, Sony, Samsung, H.H. Gregg. You think of it, again, chances are that we insure it. We're one of the largest and strongest out there. Hell, I insure half of my competitors out on that floor there. Ultimately, the insurance is coming through us. The big difference is, again, we are a wholly owned subsidiary. So Warrantech is part of the AmTrust family. And most importantly, it's all done in-house here in the good old USA. As a matter of fact, about 8 miles from the NIADA. That's where our offices are located, in Bedford, Texas. 100% of your calls, 100% of your claims, 100% of your questions are handled in-house with a decision maker there. You never have to worry about something getting shipped off-site. So again, as I said, we're over 30 years old. We're part of the AmTrust Group, which is a publicly traded company. It's over $5.5 billion company. And again, we do over 2 million. Actually, last year it was over 2.5 million service contracts. Just as Warrantech, AmTrust does closer to 10 million service contracts throughout their entire group. A little bit about our backing there, and again, I'll give you full details at the next item, but AmTrust is an A-rated insurer. One of the neat things to know is that AmTrust is the only insurance company in the entire world whose rating went up during the recent financial crisis. We went from an A- to an A. Nobody else in the world went up. Most of them went down, as you know. But ours actually went up. Again, it's over a $5 billion company, and I encourage you to look it up. It's ASFI, if anybody would like to pull up the stock. It's on the New York Stock Exchange. I encourage you to take a look at all of the information and the financial backing on there. I think you'll be thoroughly impressed. And that's all I have for you guys. A couple of testimonials up there. Don't just take our word for it. more importantly, talk to your local dealers. Talk to the guys who have used us. A lot of the guys out there on the floor actually have our core products in that dealership and have had an opportunity to use it. Talk to Charles Teal. He's the Volvo dealer that I was speaking about a few minutes ago. And talk to Mike and the crew there at NIADA. And more importantly, come on back and see us because we'll give you full details on it and let you know and see if it's right for your dealership, and we can help you take it to the next level. Again, thanks for your time, folks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your new NIADA, the new products that we have to offer. We hope you're excited about it. Quite frankly, I have 6 cups of coffee and 1 Diet Coke. I'm really wired up and looking forward to seeing the rest of the convention this afternoon and this morning. I have all these ideas rattling in my head, too. Well, well, that concludes this morning's session. Enjoy the expo and the succulent, more mouth-watering lunch being served downstairs. See you there.